welcome to a brand new episode here on Carmland's Farm. So what are we doing today? Well, as you can see, we have got the Kubota and we have got the sprayer, and we are going to go and fertilise all of the fields that we drilled in the last episode, and I did do a little bit as well, as you know, off camera. The field to my right there, now then, I don't want you to think that I forgot that one or missed that one out. That, you know, I know what I'm doing. That one was you know, it was planned to be like that. Got ideas for that field, possibly, but yeah, definitely don't want you to you know, to believe or think that I forgot about that field, because of course, being the ultimate farmer and professional, I would never do such a thing. Darn it. Yep, I forgot about that field. I decided, I got this one done, and I thought, well, if I go the other side, I thought what I'll do is I'll go to the field directly in front of us, which is the soybean field. I thought I'll do that one, and then I'll go and do the other three, and then I'll be on that side of the, because, you know, sort of kind of forgetting that there was a river between them. But I was kind of sort of thinking, well, I'll be on that side of the farm then, you know, when I come to you know, drill it, and plus as well, I wanted to use the planter and had the drill on at the time. And the really annoying thing about that is, you'll see in a minute. But the really annoying thing about that is yes, I left it because I didn't want to go and put the planter on, then I have to go back and put the seed drill on, and then go and do the seed drilling. I should have done that. I should have done that, because then I wouldn't have forgotten. But I thought, no, I've got two fields that I want to use the planter on. I've got a new field over the river that I want to set some sunflowers with, and I thought, you know, I want to also set that one as well. I was probably going to do like sugar beet or corn, or, you know, sort of something like that with it. And then I sort of kind of thought, no, I'll do all that at the end. I thought, you know, it won't take long then, because they're two small fields that I'll have left. So I'll do it all at the end. I thought I'd get the big fields out of the way now, because it's going to take a while, and it did take a blooming while and all. I didn't fully appreciate how wide and how big I was making those fields, but anyway, got them done, didn't I? Put the planter on, went and did the sunflower, and then just drove back past the last one. So we probably will plant it at some point, but I don't think it's going to be in today's episode. We've got other things that we need to get on with today. We need to, as I say, we need to get these sprayed, and those ones the other side of the river as well. So we've got quite a bit of spraying to do, and then it's just jobs about the yard, really. So I've solved the pig problem. Now, PA Ploughboy said that it may well be the liquid manure or the slurry that the pigs have produced. So I emptied quite a bit of it off. It wasn't full. There was still quite a long way to go within the slurry tank, so it wasn't full by any stretch of the imagination, but I emptied it off, or emptied quite a bit of it off, and it didn't make no difference. Then I noticed that the cow one is full, but that has not affected the cow's health, the dairy cows. That hasn't affected the cow's health. So I was then a bit more kerfuddled, because I kind of thought, well, if it potentially is affecting the pigs, why isn't it affecting the cows? So anyway, again, it sort of puzzled me, and I carried on. I finished my drilling and did, you know, all my other jobs. As I say, I did empty quite a bit out of that store, out of that slurry tank, and as I say, it made absolutely no difference whatsoever. The only other thing that I could sort of think that it might be was the food, but it was telling me that there was 40 some odd thousand litres of food in the trough, so I was thinking it isn't that. And I remember spending quite a long time off camera producing and making the food, and filling it up. So I was kind of like, it's not the food. I thought because there's loads in there, like, So in the end, I was kind of like, well, I'm just gonna have to get rid of it and start the pigs again. I thought, there's nothing I can do because I thought they were going still up in value, and I thought what has kind of must have happened here is that although it's reading 0, to me, the game is still recognising that the pigs have everything they need, and is still. But so I then decided to skip forward a day, just to kind of see what happened. And no, the value of the pigs didn't go up at all. And I think, if I remember correctly, because a day or two ago now, a day or so since I I did the experiment, and I think one group of pigs, the value started to go down. I think I remember, but that could have been on another game. Um, that could have been on another game. So don't wholly quote me on that one, because, as I say, that might have been another game. But so I thought, well, it isn't that, and so I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to start the pigs again. And then I don't know why, but I had a tractor and trailer there, and I had some pig food left over, from when I mixed it, the first time round. And I thought, well, do you know what? I thought I'll put the remainder of what I've got left in the trough. I thought, even though it's telling me that the trough is full, I thought I'll put the remainder in the trough, and we'll see how we go. So loaded the trailer up, tipped it into the trough, and although it said the food was full at 40,000 whatever, it kept taking it. And anyway, I sort of emptied, finished the last bit off that I had, and it was a case of like, well, okay, fair enough. And then it was again put it on to 5. So yesterday, in terms of game time, I put it on 5, went through the day, and yeah, the pig's health has now come up, or is coming up, because it was yesterday when I filled the trough up, and then I fast forwarded the night and then come into today, and the health of the pigs is going up. So um, even though it was telling me there was, nearly 100% worth of food in there, apparently that food wasn't registering, for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I say, on any other map, I've not had no trouble with that pigsty. Hence the reason why I used it, because I just thought, well, stick with what you know, stick with what you're used to, stick with what you know works, and just use it. And so that's what I sort of decided to do. But for whatever reason, it just, as I say, was reading. The health was reading 0, and as I say, I tried the the food and what I had left, and tried it, and touch wood, that seems to have worked. So therefore, again, filled it up, and went out, bought loads and loads of pig food, and tried it, and yeah, and as I say, it seems to work okay. So don't know. That's all I can say. I don't know. But if that's going to work, then fine, I'll do that. Like, it's not a huge issue. It's not a huge issue at all. So yeah, I'll just do that. But like I say, anyway, today, so we've got a bit of spraying to do. We've got the wool pallets to move to the textile factory, and then we have also got. I think I'm probably just going to get rid of the sunflower and canola oil. I might hold off, just because the canola and the sunflowers are not ready, obviously, yet. So I could just hold off a little bit, but I'm not sure. I might just get rid of it and start again with that, because as you know, or as you may have seen, Courseplay mucked that up, something brilliant. So yeah, I might just start again on that. I don't know whether you can hear the traffic going by, but Harvest 24 is definitely in full swing now. I've got tractors and trailers going by, I've got lorries going by with wheat on, or barley probably. It's a little bit early for wheat, and when I was sort of having a ride round yesterday with my little boy, quite a lot of the wheat fields were still a bit green, so I'm guessing it's barley that they've got on. But yeah, so as I say, it's getting that way now. It's not going to be long before the wheat is ready. And quite a lot of the farms that I watch on YouTube as well are now all going. I mean, PX Farms are I watch. I absolutely love that channel. Honestly, go check it out. It is one of the best YouTube channels that I have managed to find. And James, who does the talking on the video, honestly, he seems to be one of the nicest, laid-back farmers going ever. I thought our old farm, well, my old farm manager, Adrian, was laid back, but no, James is even more laid back. Even when times are getting a little bit tricky, he's still like, honestly, go check it out. I cannot recommend that channel enough. And obviously, when you do check it out, just give it a subscribe because, as I say, James is really is a top bloke, and he runs a very good farm, a very big farm, but a very good farm. It's certainly a farm that I wish I could have got to do some work with at some point. Treats the workers very fairly, very well, because I have worked on a couple of farms where that isn't the case, and I didn't last very long on those farms because being an Aries and being ginger, I can be a little bit fiery myself. I'm I'm very laid back and I'm very relaxed until you wind me up, and then when you start winding me up and start hissing me off, and then then stand back because I go off like a bottle of pop, and so I didn't last very long on those farms. I think in total, I think across sort of my sort of farming life, if you like, I think I worked on probably about 4, maybe 5 farms. Only 2 farms did I ever sort of settle on and make it on. And on both farms, although on the first farm, the boss, it was okay. If he was having a good day, everyone had a good day. If he was having a bad day, just stay out of his way. And that was all I could say really. If he was having a good day, everyone had a great day. But as I think I told the story once of being down. So his house, so many years ago, the farm that I worked on was a small independent farm, and the house had the cow sort of stables, if you like, on them, the piggery on them, the horse stables on them. So it's basically the house, and then out the back, kind of like over sort of 4 or 5 acres, was all of the sort of animals. And they didn't have many animals of each animal, but that's what they were like. And his house is still like that. The piggery is still there, although it's not used as a piggery anymore. But the piggery was still there. The cow stables are still there. They do still use them for their Lincolnshire red cows that they have, and the horse stables are still there, basically, for his daughters. So they still have horses, but so the piggery is now. What we did was we sort of knocked most of it down, opened most of it up, and it's now a bale store. It's now a place to sort of store bales, and it's still a brick building as it was, sort of hundreds of years ago when it was built originally. All of the buildings down there are original. They've been sort of patched up and repaired, but they're still original. But anyway, I was down. It was I think it was either in March and there wasn't much to do, or it was in sort of October, November time, and whether the ground was too wet or whether we'd even got sort of drilled up and finished, like, because it wasn't unheard of on that farm to be done by sort of mid to late October. If the weather had been fair, you can crack on, sort of thing. And I think they had about 1,200 acres, 1,000 to 1,200 acres, something like that. So it didn't take long. It didn't take long to do the work. and me and John who was the other guy that I worked with. We if we if we were away from the farm, then we would be in 3 gears lower and about 5 mile an hour slower, just to make it try and last a little bit. But yeah, and I can say that now because he's retired and I no longer work there, so it doesn't matter. And yeah, so as I say, I was sent down there, and I he came to work in the morning, went into the workshop where we all met up in the mornings. James, you're going off down to he always called it like my yard, his yard. He said, you're going down to my yard, he said, and I've got a water pipe there that's leaking and need you to dig it up and repair it. Yeah, no problem. Because I'm thinking like any normal person would, oh, okay, that's all concrete down there and hard standing and stone and everything else. Of course he's hired a mini digger for me to dig it up. I thought, he goes, oh, I've sprayed where the drain is or where the water pipe is. I was like, right, he goes, you literally just got to dig along that line. So yeah, fair enough. So as I say, I'm thinking, oh, thank God, he's clearly ordered a mini digger, and that's what I'm going to be using, like, no problem. Done it many times before, not there necessarily, but sort of across the farm, because they had animals on what was called his yard, and then Dad's farm, and then the main farm. So they had sort of 3 farms, but although he called my yard as a farm, it wasn't really a farm, really. As I say, it was a few glorified sheds, but it was a bit of a stretch to call it a farm. But anyway, that's what he called it, and I guess it was his, so he called it what he liked, really, can't he? So I went down to his yard, as I say, and the Dad's farm that had sheep on it, so that farm that housed, if you like, all the sheep that they had, and then the main farm was mainly arable, but around the farm they had quite a few biggish fields that were set to grass, and that's where we would, sort of when we were looking to change pastures for the animals, the cows and the pigs, the cows and the sheep. So that we could alternate them down there as well. So, but anyway, so I go down to his yard. There I am, I'm at his yard, and I gets down there. There's no digger. Leaning up against the wall, because it was just so as you come off the sort of road, you go down and look at like a little yellow gravel drive, and you come to a gate, and you can go, well, you go left to the gate or you go right, and if you go right, that the sort of winds you round down to his house then. So, but you go left to the gate, and that takes you sort of round the back to where all the animals are. So obviously I go left. I'm in my own car. I go left, and there's no digger. So I'm thinking, okay, it's probably in one of the sheds or in do you know what I mean? Like, so I sort of look around for it. It's not there. So then I drive up because Dad's farm, or his dad's farm, was not far from his yard. So it was a 10-minute walk. So I drive up there and I think, oh, I'll get it. And what I'll do is, rather than drive it back on the roads, I'll drive it back through the pastures so that I'm not on the road, and we'll be fine. So I gets up there, there's no mini digger. So I ring him, and he's on the school run. He doesn't like people ringing him when he's on the school run, because he had quite a little way to travel to get his kids to school. So I ring him. I said, Anthony, where's the little mini digger? So he says, what little mini digger? So I said, to dig the pipe up. No, 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 no. He said, up against that wall. He said, go through the gate. I said, yeah. He said, go round the corner. Yeah. He said, up against that wall, I've put a shovel, a spade, and a pickaxe. And I said, all right. He said, you can hand dig through there. He said, it's only about 4 or 5 feet deep. He said, it's not very deep. I said, yeah, but that's concrete and rubble. So he said, yeah, I know. He said, use the pickaxe to break the concrete, and then just start shoveling it out. So I said to him, I said, okay. I said, all right. I said, like, that's going to take me a while. Yeah, and it'll take you the morning. I'm thinking, I think it's going to take me longer than the morning. I got to be honest. So anyway, I goes back there, like, and I just sort of drives back there. and go around the corner. Sure enough, there was all the stuff. So I start, sort of hand doing this bloody smashing this concrete up and what have you. So he comes down there. Well, because it's first thing in the morning. I've had breakfast. First thing in the morning is when I've obviously got most of my energy. I mean, now it doesn't count so much because, as I say, my heart condition is getting sort of slowly worse and everything now. So it's not quite the same as it was back then. But back then I was in my early 30s, and in the morning I weren't too bad. I was all right. In the mornings I could sort of cope with supposedly normal, healthy people. But get the afternoon and I'm on go slow. Um, and as I say, I sets off, and he comes down there on his way back from school because obviously he has to go like past his house. So he comes down there. How are you getting on? And I've not done too bad. Um, I've not done too bad. I've not done brilliantly, but I've not done too bad, I think. So he says, okay. He says, not a bad effort. He said, like, go and have a cup of tea, and then come back. He said, you're gonna have to put in some real effort because I've got something else I want you to do this afternoon. I don't want you on this all day. So I said to him, I said, okay. I said, but I will say this. I said, that concrete is really thick. And he said, I don't want any excuses. Just get on with it. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. So anyway, I does my best. It gets to lunchtime. He comes back for his lunch, and I'm just stopping for my lunch as well because it's we stopped at 11:45 for our lunch, and so I'm stopping for my lunch and getting in the car. And just as I'm getting in the car, he pulls in behind me. So he gets out and he says, "Let's have a look at what you've done." So he walks over there because I haven't got all that much more further because smashing through concrete and digging rubble and everything else, I was cream crackered. I had sort of pains in my arm and my chest. You know, sort of I was out of breath. I was proper struggling, and he decided to have a right good go at me, like for not doing very much, and for not having that done. And let's just say that I'd been working there probably, I don't know, probably 2 years. I would say a year and a half, 2 years, and I'm like I say, I'm pretty laid back. Right, it takes a lot to set me off. But if you do set me off, you set me off, and then you're gonna have to wait then until I sort of calm down. And I just felt like it was a complete liberty for him to be saying what he was saying. He's known me and my family like all of our lives. My granddad's worked there, my uncles worked there, my nan worked there, my nan still worked there at that time. Um, and all of my sort of relatives that were in farming have worked there. They knew all about me. They knew all about the situation. When I had when didn't really have an interview as such. As I told you before, like I hired a tractor and went there ploughing, and then that's how kind of I got the job there. And so I didn't really have an interview as such. They all that basically happened was they came down to the house, they bought the contract, they bought the kind of do's and don'ts, and of course me and my dad made absolute certain that they understood the limitations that I had, and they were like, yeah, don't worry, we'll never ask you to do anything that we don't think you're capable of, or anything that we think is unsuitable for someone like yourself. Well, that was just something you say because my dad's in front of me, apparently, because as I say, in my time there, I had a lot of jobs that I struggled with, through them just being too physical and too hard for me. And as I say, on that day I just let rip, and I can't remember everything that I said, but I know that one of the first things I said, if you weren't such a tight beep 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 like any normal person, you would have hired a little excavator or a mini digger to dig that out. But you're and then like I can just remember I sort of did swear quite a lot, and I said if you're not satisfied, you're not happy. I said, and I sort of chucked the shovel down. I went, dig the ding yourself. and went off. And as I say, like, and went back to the main yard. And anyway, I had my lunch, and he went and had his lunch. And then he came down there, and then he goes, "Oh, you don't ever speak to me like that again. You need to remember who I am." And I said to him, I said, "Yeah, fair enough." I said, "And you need to remember," I said, "my limitations." And then John, who I work with, goes, "What's going on?" And so I told him, and John went, "Well, that's ridiculous. That is." He goes, "Anyone in their right mind would sort of hire a little mini digger." He said, "Like Jesus, we've got 4 neighbours that have got loads of them. Like, I'm sure one of them would lend you one." We were always doing stuff for them, and yeah, it got a bit heated, and as I say, like, sort of John stuck up for me, and I think it was John standing up for me that kind of kept me my job. So as much as I like working there, and I did like working there because it, on the whole, was an easy job. On the whole, it was a really cushy job because they, like I say, most of the time they were, sort of laid back, friendly, and everything, so it was kind of all right. But just that one time when, as I say, that happened, and yeah, things got a little bit, a little bit heated. But I mean, comment below who was in the right and who was in the wrong. Should I have accepted the fact that I worked on a farm and sometimes it was, to be physical and sometimes it was to be hard going, or is he in the wrong because he knows my limitations? He knows, that every sort of between every 6 months to 12 months I go for a checkup in London, and to make sure everything is still okay and everything, and nothing's leaking and everything's still working the way, well, not everything, but the one chamber that does still work is still working the way it should, or whatever. Comment below. I'm interested to see what people may think. As I say, it was a very long time ago now, so but yeah, I was not happy that day. Let's put it like that. Anyway, I'm going to get this done, and we're going to get this one done. We've got this one to do, the one in front of us, and then the one to the side of that. And what we're going to do is so I'll get them done, and then we're going to move. We'll get the low loader if I can find it, and then we'll move the wall pallets over to the textile factory. And then I'm sure there'll be other stuff that we need to do as well. But as I say, we need to get on with this. Get this done. I'm sure we only have to do it once. Pretty certain that we'll only need to do it once. We need to start in this corner, otherwise that isn't going to work out right. Oh, good. Now the rain's come. It's just what you need when you're out spraying, isn't it? Alright, so what I'm going to do is, as I say, I'm going to switch over now to a little bit of time-lapse just so as we can get these done in time, because otherwise the whole video is just going to be me driving around a field spraying. So I'll see you all in a little while. Bye for now. Well, there we go. After some disasters, we've got that sorted out. So that is good. And what we'll do is, in the next episode, we will load them up again, and we will take them. We will take them to be sold. And then what we'll do is, when we get back from taking the rape pallets to be sold, I'm only going to do this because I've run out of time for today. And what we're going to do is, once we've got those rape pallets sold, or the rape oil sold, then what we're going to do is we'll then fast forward to the next day, and then hopefully maybe the sunflower ones can be gone as well. But as I say, that needed sorting out because if you remember way back when we were combining the rapeseed, I discovered cows are being fed 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I discovered the fact that you could have course play on the tractor and trailer, and it would go to whichever tip point you wanted to tip it. And I sent it to the oil mill, not really thinking that it would crash into those pallets. I kind of thought that what it would do is it would realise the pallets were there and then either turn early enough, back up, tell me it was stuck or whatever. I didn't think it would just drive through them. So what then, of course, the result of that was that it mixed all of the sunflower and canola pallets together. So what as I say, what we've done here is we've separated them all out. I think. Yeah, so we've separated them all out, and then, sorry, from over there, they look brown, and I was like, oh no, surely I haven't done it wrong. But yeah, we've separated all them out. I bought that trailer as well, just because I'm not very good at loading pallets, so it's an auto stack trailer, which I don't normally use. What I might do is I might get the little forklift, I might stack them onto the trailer, and then just use the auto load to kind of do it neatly. But yeah, so as I say, order spraying done today. That's now been done. Next time when we come, I'm going to leave the wall. I said I was going to do the wall today, but as that's double stacking, I'm going to leave that. And then that way, when we go eventually to take it all to the wall mill, then which is just there, the spinnery, I think they call it. We'll have obviously much more to take, and there'll be, it'll be a worthwhile trip then because we'll be taking double the load. So that would be cool. And then, as I say, we'll get some textile, or I can't remember what. I think it's a textile factory, isn't it? That turns the textile that the spinnery makes into t-shirts, and then we'll do that. But so that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode, not only are we going to do those pallets, we're also going to do the animals. So we'll feed the chickens, feed the sheep, and check out anything else that we need to do. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And all that's left for me to say is thanks ever so much for joining me on this episode. I've really enjoyed having your company, and I hope you'll join me again next time. Bye for now.